Jiwoo Park stood in the command center of Station Harmony, staring at the screens that showed nothing but empty space. She had been a station commander for 3 years now, and she knew every star pattern, every ship route, every normal thing that happened in this quiet corner of the galaxy. But the 3 massive shapes appearing on her sensors were not normal. They were not human ships. They were not anything in her database. "Send out standard greetings on all frequencies," she ordered. Her voice was calm, but her heart was beating fast. Beside her, Captain Dong-Soo Lee was already putting the station on alert. He had trained her when she first joined the military, and she trusted him more than anyone except her husband. The alien ships did not respond. They just kept coming closer. Jiwoo touched her communication badge. "Tae-ho! Are you there?" Her husband's voice came back immediately. He was in the engineering section with their daughter Yuna. It was supposed to be a safe day, a normal day. Yuna had come to see where her parents worked, excited to see the big station. "I'm here." "What's wrong?" Tae-ho asked. "Unknown ships approaching. Might be nothing, but take Yuna to the residential area, just to be safe." Jiwoo tried to sound casual, but Tae-ho knew her too well. "On my way," he said without arguing. The alien ships were close now. They were huge, covered in strange metal that seemed to absorb light. Then, without any warning, they opened fire. The first blast hit the outer shield so hard that the entire station shook. Alarms screamed through every corridor. "All personnel to battle stations!" "This is not a drill!" Jiwoo shouted into the station-wide channel. Around her, her crew moved fast, bringing up weapons and shields. But the alien technology was like nothing they had ever seen. Their weapons went through the shields as if they were not even there. Dong-Soo was coordinating the defense forces, sending security teams to every section. "They're boarding us!" he yelled. "South Docking Bay, Engineering Deck, and Medical Wing." Jiwoo pulled up the camera feeds. She saw the aliens for the first time. They were tall, covered in armor that seemed to be part of their bodies. They moved with cold efficiency, killing anyone who resisted and capturing those who surrendered. Her best friend, Dr. Hana Choi, appeared on one screen. Hana was in the research lab, frantically deleting data from the computers. "Hana, get out of there!" Jiwoo screamed into the comm. Hana looked up at the camera and smiled sadly. "Can't let them get our research, Jiwoo. Take care of yourself." Then she triggered the lab's self-destruct. The explosion took out an entire section and at least 20 aliens with it. Tears ran down Jiwoo's face, but she kept working. The station was dying around her. 3,000 people lived here, families, scientists, soldiers. She had to save as many as she could. "Begin evacuation! All civilians to the pods! Military personnel provide cover!" Her orders were clear, but she could see it was hopeless. The aliens were everywhere. They were too fast, too many, too advanced. Dong-Soo grabbed her arm. "Jiwoo, you need to evacuate too. The command center is going to be their next target." "Not until everyone else is off," she said. He smiled. "I know. That's why I'm staying too." They fought side by side as the aliens broke through the command center doors. Dong-Soo shot 3 of them before one of their weapons hit him. He fell, and Jiwoo dropped to his side. "You did good, kid," he whispered. "Now run." But she couldn't run. She kept fighting until she saw Tae-ho and Yuna on the evacuation monitor. They were in Pod 47, along with hundreds of other people. The pods were launching, shooting away from the dying station. Relief flooded through her. They were safe. Her family was safe. Then she watched the alien destroyer turn its weapons toward the evacuation wing. She screamed, "No! No!" But the weapons fired. The entire evacuation section exploded in a ball of fire. 40 pods, 600 people, her husband, her daughter, gone in 1 second. Jiwoo stopped fighting. She just stood there, staring at the empty space where her family had been. The aliens surrounded her. She should have fought. She should have died, but her body would not move. They stunned her and dragged her away. When she woke up, she was in a cell on an alien ship. 200 other humans were there too, the only survivors from Station Harmony. But Ji-woo barely saw them. She sat against the cold wall and stared at nothing. A young engineer named Jae-won tried to talk to her. "Commander Park, are you okay?" She laughed, and it sounded broken. "My name is Ji-woo. I'm not a commander anymore. I'm not anything anymore." But that was not true. As the days passed in that cell, something changed inside her. The pain did not go away. The loss did not heal, but it transformed into something else. Something cold and focused. She started watching the aliens who guarded them. She listened to their strange language. She memorized their movements, their routines, their weaknesses. A Marine named Bomi noticed what she was doing. "You're planning something." Ji-woo looked at her. "They took everything from me, my family, my home, my life. But they made one mistake." "What's that?" "They left me alive." Ji-woo's voice was quiet, but filled with something harder than steel. "And I'm going to make sure they regret it. I'm going to learn everything about them, and then I'm going to destroy them." Bomi smiled. "Count me in." Others started listening. The young engineer Jae-won, a pilot named Sang-woo who had been captured from another station. More and more survivors who had lost everything and had nothing left except the need to fight back. Ji-woo Park had lost her family, her station, and her old life. But in that dark cell, surrounded by broken people who refused to stay broken, she found something new, a purpose, a mission, and the beginning of a plan that would shake the entire galaxy. The aliens thought they had won. They had no idea what they had created. 6 months passed in the alien prison ship. Ji-woo learned that the aliens called themselves the Vextar, and they believed they were superior to every other species in the galaxy. Their prison ship, the Krevath, held 2,000 humans from different attacks. The Vextar studied them like animals, testing how much pain they could endure, how smart they were, how long they could survive without hope. But the Vextar did not understand humans very well. They thought breaking their bodies would break their spirits. They were wrong. Ji-woo became prisoner number 4719. She cleaned floors, carried supplies, and kept her head down. But every moment she was learning. She discovered that the Vextar relied heavily on their computer systems. Their armor had weak points near the joints where the temperature regulation failed. Their guards followed exact schedules that never changed. And most importantly, they could not think creatively. They did everything by the book, following rigid rules that made them predictable. She shared everything she learned with Bomi, who had become her closest ally. Bomi started training other prisoners in hand-to-hand combat, using moves the Vextar had never seen. Human fighting was messy, unpredictable, and dirty. The aliens expected formal combat. Bomi taught people to go for eyes, throats, and joints. She taught them to use anything as a weapon. Jae-won proved to be a genius with technology. Even with primitive tools smuggled from work details, he built a secret communication network between prison cells. Whispered messages traveled through air vents and water pipes. Soon, hundreds of prisoners were connected, sharing information and hope. Sang-woo had been a cargo pilot before his capture. He memorized every corridor, every room, every escape route. He drew maps from memory and passed them along the network. If they ever had a chance to escape, they would know exactly where to go. Ji-woo learned the Vextar language by listening carefully to the guards. It was harsh and guttural, but patterns emerged. She discovered they were studying humans for a specific reason. Humans had something the Vextar wanted: flexible thinking. The Vextar were powerful and smart, but they could not adapt quickly. They could not improvise. Their rigid biology was both their strength and their weakness. One day, Ji-woo overheard 2 Vextar scientists talking. They were planning to harvest human brain tissue to enhance their own species, and Station Harmony was just the beginning. They were preparing to invade Earth itself. Millions of humans would be killed or captured for experiments. That night, Ji-Woo called a meeting through Jae-won's secret network. Her voice echoed through the pipes to hundreds of cells. "They're going to attack Earth. We can't let that happen. We need to escape, and we need to warn everyone." "How?" someone whispered back. "There are guards everywhere. We have no weapons. We're locked in cells." "We have something better than weapons," Ji-Woo said. "We have something they don't have and can't understand. We're human. We can think outside their rules. We can be unpredictable. We can survive anything they throw at us because we've already lost everything. What more can they take?" Silence filled the pipes. Then Bomi's voice came through. "I'm with you." "Me too," Jae-won said. "Count me in," Sang-woo added. One by one, voices agreed. 2,000 humans, broken and beaten but not defeated, chose to fight back. They planned for 2 weeks. Jae-won built crude weapons from stolen parts. Bomi organized teams and assigned targets. Sang-woo mapped escape routes. Ji-woo studied the guard schedules and found the perfect moment. Shift change. When the old guards left and new ones arrived. For exactly 8 minutes, the ship would be vulnerable. The uprising began at 600 hours. Jae-won triggered a virus in the prison's computer system, one he had been secretly building for months. Doors opened, lights flickered, alarms screamed, but the guards could not tell where the real emergency was because the virus created false alarms everywhere. The humans poured out of their cells. Bomi's fighters hit the guards hard and fast, using every dirty trick they knew. Ji-Woo led a team straight to the bridge, following Sang-woo's maps. They fought through corridors, using Vextar weapons they grabbed from fallen guards. The aliens were shocked. They had never seen anything like this. Humans were supposed to be weak, broken, defeated. But these humans fought with a fury that made no logical sense. They sacrificed themselves to protect others. They took insane risks that paid off. They adapted to every situation faster than the Vextar could respond. Ji-Woo reached the bridge and found the ship's captain. He was a tall Vextar with dark armor covered in metals. He stared at her with something that might have been confusion. "You cannot win," he said in broken human language. "We are superior." Ji-Woo shot him. "You're also predictable." She took control of the ship's systems with Jae-won's help. The young engineer was brilliant, translating Vextar computer code on the fly and locking out the remaining guards. Within an hour, the humans controlled the entire ship. They had won. 1,200 humans survived the uprising. 800 had died fighting, but they died free. Ji-Woo stood on the bridge of the captured prison ship, looking at the stars. She had no rank anymore, no official authority, but when she spoke, everyone listened. "We could run back to Earth. We could hide. But the Vextar are planning to invade our home. They're going to do to Earth what they did to Station Harmony. We can't let that happen." "What are you suggesting?" Sang-woo asked. "We use this ship. We learn their technology. We hit them where they don't expect it. We rescue more prisoners. We capture more ships. And we make them understand that attacking humanity was the biggest mistake they ever made." Bomi grinned. "A guerrilla war deep in enemy territory with a stolen prison ship and no backup. That's insane." "Yes," Ji-Woo agreed. "But we're human." "Insane is what we do best." The freed prisoners cheered. They had been victims for 6 months. Now they were soldiers. They were survivors. They were humanity's first strike force deep in alien space, and Ji-Woo Park, who had lost everything, had found a new purpose: make the Vextar pay for every human life they had taken. Starting now. 9 months after escaping the prison ship, Ji-Woo commanded a fleet of 15 captured Vextar vessels. She had not returned to Earth for safety. Instead, she had taken the fight deeper into enemy territory, hitting supply lines, rescuing prisoners, and capturing more ships with every victory. The freed humans crewed the vessels, learning alien technology as they went. Earth called her fleet the Ghost Fleet because they appeared from nowhere, struck hard, and vanished before the Vextar could respond. The aliens had another name for Jiwoo. They called her the Human Void, a threat they could not predict or understand. On the bridge of her flagship, Jiwoo studied a holographic map of Vextar space. Beside her stood Nari Yoon, a former cargo ship captain who had become her second-in-command. Nari was brilliant at reading enemy patterns and predicting their moves. 3 supply convoys here, and here. Nari pointed at the map. If we hit all 3 at once, we can cripple their operations in this sector. Do it, Jiwoo said. But make sure we have rescue teams ready. Intelligence says there might be human prisoners on the middle convoy. Dr. Yoon-soo Kwon, their xenotech specialist, looked up from her workstation. She had been captured from a research vessel and was now reverse engineering Vextar weapons. I've got something new for you. Their shield generators have a feedback loop we can exploit. Plant one of these devices on a ship's hull, and their own shields will tear the ship apart. Jiwoo smiled. You're a genius, Yoon-soo. The attacks went perfectly. 3 Vextar convoys destroyed, 2 more ships captured, and 400 human prisoners rescued. But it came at a cost. Bomi led the rescue team personally and was hit by enemy fire while evacuating civilians. She died getting the last group to safety. Jiwoo stood over Bomi's body in the medical bay, her fists clenched. Bomi had been with her since the beginning, training fighters, leading missions, always volunteering for the most dangerous work. Now she was gone. She saved 93 people today, Nari said quietly. She would say it was worth it. I know, Jiwoo whispered. But that doesn't make it hurt less. They held a memorial service. The Ghost Fleet had lost many people over the months, but they had also saved over 5,000 humans from Vextar captivity. Every rescued prisoner had a choice: go back to Earth or join the fight. Most chose to stay and fight. Earth's response to Jiwoo's actions was complicated. Some admirals called her a rogue, too aggressive, too risky, but her results were undeniable. She had freed thousands of people and captured valuable enemy ships. Finally, Earth sent Admiral Kyung-mi Bae to either bring Jiwoo in line or shut her down. When Admiral Bae's ship arrived, Jiwoo prepared for the worst, but the older woman surprised her. They met in Jiwoo's ready room, and Bae studied her for a long moment. I've read every report about your operations, Bae said. By all military regulations, I should arrest you and bring you back to Earth for court-martial. But, Jiwoo asked, but you've accomplished more in 9 months than our entire fleet has in years of defensive posturing. You understand the Vextar better than anyone, and you've proven that humans can win against superior technology if we fight smart. Bae leaned forward. So here's my proposal. Earth gives you supplies, intelligence, and official recognition. You keep doing what you're doing, but coordinate with us. We fight this war together. Jiwoo considered it. I won't follow orders that get my people killed for no reason, and I won't change my tactics. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to trust us like we're learning to trust you. They shook hands. For the first time since Station Harmony fell, Jiwoo was not fighting alone. Earth sent supplies, new recruits, and critical intelligence. In return, the Ghost Fleet shared captured technology and tactical data. Dr. Yoon-soo worked with Earth scientists to weaponize Vextar systems. Woojin Seo, a tactical AI specialist from Earth, joined them and helped reprogram captured ship computers. The Ghost Fleet became even more effective. But the Vextar were learning too. They sent a hunter fleet of 20 warships specifically to destroy Jiwoo. The enemy commander studied every battle, every tactic, looking for patterns. They tracked the Ghost Fleet to a system near a pulsar. "They found us," Nari reported. 20 ships incoming. "We're outnumbered." Jiwoo smiled. "Good. Let them think they've got us trapped." She had studied the pulsar's energy patterns for weeks. Vextar sensors could not function properly near the intense radiation, but human sensors, with some modifications from Yunsu, worked just fine. Jiwoo led the Hunter fleet into the pulsar's radiation field, where their technological advantage became a liability. They were blind. The Ghost Fleet was not. The battle was brutal but quick. 15 Vextar ships were destroyed. The other 5 tried to retreat, but were cut down. Jiwoo's fleet captured the enemy flagship intact, along with hundreds of detailed battle plans. But they lost ships too. Sang-woo commanded one of the destroyers and stayed behind to provide covering fire while damaged vessels escaped. His ship exploded, taking 3 Vextar cruisers with it. Jiwoo mourned him as she had mourned Bomi, Dongsu, Hana, and so many others. Every victory cost something. Every battle took people she cared about. But she could not stop. The Vextar were planning their invasion of Earth, and she was the only thing slowing them down. 2 years after Station Harmony fell, Jiwoo stood on her bridge with 40 captured ships and 8,000 liberated humans. Earth had officially promoted her to Admiral. The Ghost Fleet was now part of Earth's official military, but with complete tactical freedom. Nari brought up new intelligence. "The Vextar are massing a fleet, 500 ships. Looks like they're done playing around." "Target?" Jiwoo asked, though she already knew. "Earth. They're going for Earth." Jiwoo took a deep breath. Everything had been leading to this. Every battle, every sacrifice, every lesson learned. The Vextar were coming for her homeworld, and this time there would be no escape, no second chances. Either humanity survived, or it died. "Set course for Earth," she ordered. "It's time to go home and finish this." The war room on Earth was filled with tension. Fleet Admiral Hyun-sik Choi stood at the head of the table, surrounded by his top commanders. On the main screen, the Vextar fleet appeared as 500 red dots moving steadily toward the solar system. Every analysis, every simulation showed the same result. Earth would fall within 72 hours. Jiwoo stood across from Admiral Choi, her Ghost Fleet officers behind her. She looked different now than she had 2 years ago. Harder, scarred. But her eyes still burned with the same determination that had kept her alive through everything. "The Vextar will hit our outer defenses first," Choi said. "We'll lose the moon bases within hours, then they'll push through to Earth. We need to hold the defensive perimeter as long as possible." "No," Jiwoo said simply. The room went quiet. Every admiral stared at her. "Excuse me?" Choi asked. "The defensive perimeter is what they expect. They've planned for it. They'll break through because that's what their simulations tell them we'll do." Jiwoo activated her own display. "We pull everything back to Earth's atmosphere. We let them think they're winning. Then we hit them with everything we've got." "That's suicide!" one admiral shouted. "You're giving them the entire solar system." "I'm giving them a false victory," Jiwoo corrected. "The Vextar are predictable. They follow their plans exactly. If we do what they expect, we lose. If we do the unexpected, we have a chance." Admiral Kyungmi Bai spoke up. "She's never been wrong yet, and she knows them better than any of us." The debate raged for hours. Half the Admiralty thought Jiwoo was crazy. The other half reluctantly agreed that conventional tactics would not work against 500 Vextar warships. Finally, Admiral Choi made the decision. "We do it Admiral Park's way, but if this fails, Earth falls. The responsibility is on all of us." Jiwoo nodded. "I understand, but we won't fail." She met with her team afterward. Dr. Yoon Soo had been working on a secret project for months. Jae-won, who had become chief engineer of the Ghost Fleet, helped her design something that could change everything. "It's a virus," Yun-Su explained, showing them a data crystal. "The Vextar use a centralized AI system to coordinate their fleet. 3 hierarchy minds control everything. If we can infect those minds with this virus, their entire fleet will collapse into chaos." "What's the catch?" Nari asked. "Someone has to plant it directly into the flagship's core systems," Jaewon said quietly. "There's no way to do it remotely, and the security around the hierarchy mines is insane. Whoever goes on this mission won't be coming back." The room fell silent. Ji-woo looked at the data crystal, then at her team. These people had followed her through hell. They had trusted her with their lives. She could not ask them to die. "I'll do it," she said. "No," Nari said immediately. "You're the admiral. The fleet needs you. The fleet needs someone who can lead them after this war is over. That's you, Nari. You've been my second for 2 years. You know everything I know." Ji-woo picked up the data crystal. "This mission needs someone who understands the Vextar completely, someone who's been inside their systems, someone who won't hesitate when it matters most. That's me." Before anyone could argue further, Admiral Bay entered the room. "I heard about the mission. You're not going alone. I'm putting together a strike team of our best soldiers." Ji-woo wanted to refuse, but she knew Bay was right. This was too important for pride. "Thank you." The Vextar fleet entered the solar system exactly as predicted. They brushed aside the outer defenses easily. Earth's forces fell back, appearing to retreat in panic. The aliens followed their battle plans precisely, moving into position around Earth. So-hyun Lim, Ji-woo's intelligence officer, had spent months feeding false information to Vextar scouts. She made Earth's defenses look weaker than they were. She leaked fake data about shield frequencies and weapon placements. The Vextar believed they knew everything about Earth's capabilities. They were wrong. Ji-woo prepared for her mission. She put on combat armor and checked her weapons. Nari tried one more time to convince her to stay, but Ji-woo refused. "I lost my family at Station Harmony," Ji-woo said. "I thought I had nothing left to fight for. But then I met all of you, the people I rescued, the crews who trusted me. You became my new family. And I won't let the Vextar take another family from me. If my death saves Earth and everyone I care about, then I've already won." Nari hugged her. "Come back alive, and that's an order." "I'll try," Ji-woo promised. The strike team consisted of 12 people, including Ji-woo and Jae-won, who needed to handle the technical aspects of the virus upload. They boarded a captured Vextar courier ship and approached the alien flagship, using false identification codes that So-hyun had stolen. As they got closer, Ji-woo watched Earth below them. It looked beautiful and fragile, surrounded by 500 enemy warships. She thought about Tai-ho and Yuna, about all the families on Earth who did not know how close they were to extinction. She thought about every person she had lost over 2 years of fighting. "This is for you," she whispered. "All of you." The courier ship docked with the flagship. Security was tight, but the Vextar did not suspect anything yet. Ji-woo's team moved through the corridors, weapons hidden, waiting for the right moment. On Earth, the defensive fleet prepared for battle. Commander Jae-sung Ryu stood on the bridge of the Defiant, Earth's newest dreadnought. He had trained under Admiral Bay and learned tactics from Ji-woo's reports. Now he would lead the counterattack. "All ships, hold position," Admiral Bay ordered. "Wait for Admiral Park's signal. We only get one chance at this." The Vextar fleet moved into final position, preparing for their assault. Their hierarchy minds calculated victory with 98% certainty. Earth's forces were outnumbered and outgunned. The harvest would begin within the hour. Inside the flagship, Ji-woo's team reached a checkpoint they could not bluff past. The fighting started. Alarms screamed through the corridors as Vextar security forces converged on their position. Go! Jiwoo shouted. Get to the core! I'll hold them here! Her team ran while she laid down covering fire. She fought like she had never fought before, using every trick, every tactic, every lesson learned from 2 years of war. She was outnumbered 100-1, but she was human, and humans did not surrender. Her team made it to the next corridor. The path to the hierarchy mind core was open. Everything depended on the next hour. Earth's survival, humanity's future, everything. Jiwoo caught up with her team as they fought through the flagship's inner corridors. Bodies lay everywhere, both human and Vextar. Every meter was paid for in blood, but they were getting closer to the core. Jae-won carried the virus in a protective case, guarding it like his life depended on it, because everyone's life did depend on it. 3 other team members were already dead. 9 remained, including Jiwoo. They reached the entrance to the hierarchy mind chamber. The doors were massive, sealed with security systems that would take hours to crack. Jiwoo pulled out the explosives Dr. Yoon-soo had prepared. "Stand back," she ordered. The explosion blew the doors inward. The team rushed through into a chamber that looked like the inside of a mechanical brain. 3 massive cores pulsed with light, connected by streams of data. These were the hierarchy minds, the AI consciousnesses that controlled the entire Vextar fleet. A voice filled the chamber, speaking in perfect human language. "Admiral Jiwoo Park, we have studied you extensively. You are the anomaly in all our calculations." "I'm flattered," Jiwoo said, moving toward the central core. "But I'm here to end this." "Why do humans resist? We are superior in technology, strength, and tactical capability. Your resistance is illogical. Surrender would save countless lives." Jiwoo laughed bitterly. "You don't understand us at all. That's why you'll lose. You see surrender as logical. We see it as impossible. You calculated everything about us except the one thing that matters. We don't give up. Ever." Vextar security forces poured into the chamber. The team formed a defensive circle around Jae-won as he worked to connect the virus to the core systems. The fighting was desperate and brutal. "How long?" Jiwoo shouted over the weapons fire. 2 minutes, Jae-won yelled back. "The security is adapting. I need more time." Outside the flagship, Earth's fleet watched their sensors. Admiral Bay waited on the bridge of her command ship, her hands gripping the armrests. "Any signal from Admiral Park?" "Nothing yet," the communications officer reported. Commander Jae-sung Ryu checked his weapons one more time. The entire fleet was ready to attack, but they needed the virus to work first. Without it, they would just be throwing themselves uselessly against superior numbers. Inside the chamber, Jiwoo's team was dying. 6 remained, then 5, then 4. The Vextar kept coming in endless waves, but they held the line. They held because they were human, and humans protected each other, no matter the cost. 75% uploaded, Jae-won called out. The first mind spoke again. "You sacrifice yourselves for nothing. Even if you upload the virus, we will adapt. We will overcome. We always do." "Yeah?" Jiwoo shot 3 more guards. "But here's the thing about humans. We're really good at chaos, and your whole system is built on order and predictability. Let's see how you handle a little disorder." The virus reached 95%. The hierarchy minds realized too late what was happening. They tried to shut down the connection, but Jae-won had already embedded the virus too deeply into their systems. 100%. The virus activated. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the 3 hierarchy minds started screaming, their cores flashing wildly as corrupted data flooded their networks. The virus spread through every connection, infecting every system, every ship, every weapon connected to the AI network. Above Earth, 500 Vextar warships suddenly went dark. Their shields failed. Their weapons powered down. Their navigation systems went crazy. Ships collided with each other as automated systems went haywire. The perfect military formation dissolved into chaos. Admiral Bay saw it on her sensors and smiled fiercely. "She did it! All ships advance! Show these aliens what happens when they threaten Earth!" The entire human fleet surged forward. Commander Jae-sung led the Defiant straight into the confused Vextar formation. With their technological advantage gone, the aliens were vulnerable. Earth's ships tore through them like wolves through sheep. Dr. Yun-Su's weaponized Vextar technology proved devastating. Human ships using alien weapons against their creators. Every lesson learned from 2 years of fighting the Ghost Fleet put into practice. The battle turned into a massacre. Inside the flagship, the chamber was self-destructing. The hierarchy mines were dead, their cores melting from the virus overload. Alarms screamed. The ship was tearing itself apart. "We need to go!" one of the surviving team members shouted. But Ji-woo saw that Jae-won was badly wounded, barely conscious. She grabbed him and started running. The corridors were collapsing. Explosions rocked the ship. They would never make it to their courier ship in time. Then Ji-woo remembered something from her intelligence reports. The hierarchy mines had personal escape pods, designed to evacuate the AI cores in emergencies. She changed direction, half-carrying Jae-won, while the other 2 survivors covered their retreat. They found the escape bay. 3 pods remained. Ji-woo shoved Jae-won into one and activated it. The other 2 team members took another pod. Ji-woo was about to enter the third when part of the ceiling collapsed, blocking her path. "Commander, come on!" one of her team shouted. "Go!" Ji-woo ordered. "That's an order. Get Jae-won back to Earth. Tell them we won." She slammed the emergency launch button. The pods ejected just as the flagship exploded. The blast threw Ji-woo across the bay. She hit the wall hard and everything went black. When she woke up 3 days later, she was in a medical bay. Her body hurt everywhere, but she was alive. Admiral Bay sat beside her bed. "The battle?" Ji-woo asked weakly. "Over. We destroyed the entire Vextar fleet. Only a handful of ships escaped. The virus spread through their network across the galaxy. Their empire is in chaos. They're no longer a threat to Earth." Bay smiled. "You won. You actually won." Ji-woo closed her eyes. Images flashed through her mind. Taeho and Yuna, Dongsu, Hana, Bomi, Sang-woo, and all the others who died. They had paid the price for this victory. "We won," she corrected quietly. "All of us. Everyone who fought, everyone who sacrificed. It was never just me." 6 months later, Ji-woo stood at the memorial for Station Harmony. 3,000 names were carved into black stone, including her family and friends. Also listed were the names of everyone who died in the 2-year war that followed. Na-ri-yoon had died in the final battle leading a desperate charge. Bomi Song, Sang-woo Park, hundreds of others. They offered Ji-woo supreme command of Earth's military. She turned it down. Instead, she accepted a position at the military academy, training the next generation. She would teach them everything she learned, how to think creatively, how to turn weaknesses into strengths, how to never give up no matter how bad things looked. A young cadet approached her at the memorial. "Admiral Park, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "How did you beat them?" "The Vextar were so much more advanced than us. Everyone said we couldn't win." Ji-woo looked at the memorial, at all those names. "The Vextar made calculations. They measured our weapons, our ships, our technology. They predicted we would lose because on paper, we should have lost. But they forgot to calculate the one thing that mattered most." "What's that?" "Humans don't fight for calculations or predictions. We fight for each other, for our families, for our home. The Vextar fought because their programming told them to. We fought because we chose to. And when you're fighting for something you love, you find strength you never knew you had." She turned to walk away, then looked back at the cadet. "I lost everything in the first attack. My family, my home, my peace. But I didn't lose my humanity. I didn't lose my ability to care, to fight, to hope. And when I commanded the second attack, I made sure the Vextar understood exactly what they had awakened. They thought humans were just another species to conquer. We taught them why Earth doesn't fall. The cadet saluted. Jiwoo returned it and walked away from the memorial. Behind her, Earth's sun was setting, painting the sky in brilliant colors. The planet was scarred, but unbroken, defended by both human ships and captured alien vessels, a testament to humanity's refusal to submit. Jiwoo Park had lost everything, but in losing, she found something stronger, the will to make sure no one else lost what she lost. And in that mission, she had saved not just Earth, but humanity's future. The war was over, the Vextar were broken, and humans had proven once and for all that they belonged among the stars.